Peace, this is Tareck Adeeb. It's time to go with the flow, bringing you a brief astrological synopsis for the week. And my gosh, timing is everything. Sometimes things don't go according to plan. There's always a little space in between when it comes to working out stuff in the world, synchronicity, correlation, transits. There's always an unknown, So here I am. Hi Amy, just thought I'd come on now. So here I am now in wonderful Central Park. It's our last day here. Do you want to say hello to Eugenia?
Hello everyone.
So Eugenia's helping out today. Because obviously I don't have everything to hand. So it's really nice to be here in this beautiful part of the world. It is an absolutely stunning and awe-inspiring place. Strange that the leaves haven't quite changed yet. I thought they would have done that by now. But the park. Yeah, that's right. Hiya. Amy says hi.
Hi.
So it's been. So there's always an unknown, and I really want everyone to be aware of that, because things happen, and we can see things, we can look at, can predict. We've got to be careful of that because things don't always go according to plan. So often what we have to do is we have to, kind of assume and look back. That's where mundane astrology comes in. It gives the opportunity to look back and see the predictions and what's going to play out. So we're out of the eclipse, which is amazing. We still got a new moon to go. That's one of the big things to look at. We're still in Scorpio season. We do have changes occurring though this next week. We have Venus going into Libra, which is a big deal. Now Venus is moving fast now. Obviously she was in retrograde and now she's not, so she's going fast now, and that means that she's getting up to speed. So she'll be blasting through Libra this month, and then we get Venus into Scorpio not soon after. But then once this Scorpio stuff all ends, there's just Venus left. So Venus is important now with Venus in Libra. The reason why it is important is because Venus rules Libra. So when we're considering that energy of love, of the heart, of fairness as well, and justice, and we're seeing so much madness in the world right now. I thought it was really interesting that Zelensky, said, that the Israel and Palestinian issue is taking away, sort of like, I guess, the focus in Ukraine. And it sounds like, Russia's really hitting hard. So it's just really weird that, he kind of said that in a way, because it's true, that did definitely happen. It's similar when the Ukraine war occurred and suddenly everyone stopped talking about COVID as much when it was a huge narrative. So, it's interesting that he said that, because for him the sense of justice is, well, hang on, why is everyone not focusing on this now? Now we're seeing the most horrendous, images and reality occurring over there and in the Middle East, and it is just really, really, really toxic and horrible and inhumane. And interesting, I've even seen posters up here in New York about some of the kidnappings in Israel, which I thought was really strange in the sense that that how much of an effect it's having on the psyche and everybody here too, I guess. When you see stuff like that, which is not even in this country, that's how much of a big deal it is. And similarly, you're seeing so much news stuff that it's just harrowing. It's harrowing to see such death, destruction. And the problem is with Israel often is that there seems to be a very heavy hand which comes from such injustice or horror which occurred the other week. And because of that, it takes away a lot of it certainly questions humanitarian issues. So there's a real difficulty here with what's playing out. And that's the Scorpio stuff. It's the extreme stuff that's playing out. So with Venus coming into Libra, I wonder how that's going to change. I wonder how people's humanity or heart or feeling of love, justice, fairness, I wonder what's going to happen. Because right now it's absolutely insane, considering I don't think anybody else could ever get away with that. It's not something that anyone in the world, obviously there's been purges, there's been all sorts of horror in the world, huge heavy hands in the world, where people have just had no chance really. But to be bombing, let's say, hospitals or refugee camps where, with a complete justification that we need to remove Hamas at the expense of civilians, I just don't really see how that's ever been the case, unless it's just been ignored, or stuff going on over there, let's not think about it. But obviously an advance on Western psychology or mentality, for that to be happening, it's clearly, inhumane, and there's no humanitarian rights. So again, it's that repugnant sort of energy of Scorpio, which can be, vicious, get the job done. Death obviously is a feature of Scorpio. And then you've also got Pluto in Capricorn still, so that's why it's so intense, But just to say to everyone, like, we're really coming over the other side of all of this, year of 2023. We really, really are now. I mean, we've got the new moon in Scorpio, which again, on the 13th, is going to highlight a lot of things. We've got Venus opposing Neptune. Excuse me.
Oh, sorry, what do you need?
What other things have we got going on?
This week?
Yeah.
You have got Venus moving into Libra.
Just talking about that.
Okay, you've got Mercury moving into Sagittarius on Friday.
Right. So
and then this weekend you have a new moon in Scorpio.
Yes.
This Sunday, Monday time.
That's
and
right.
then also Mercury will be squaring Saturn.
Yes. So again, there's this shift, from maybe the more darker, intense, like I say, like apparently Russia is advancing in Ukraine. There's just been this huge death. I just got a hello there.
Hey! I think that's Vanessa.
Yeah.
That's Vanessa.
So I just got this, like I say, horrible atrocities and death, and again, it's really hard to know who's the good guy. Sometimes in this, obviously, any death, any violence, any kind of scummy, disgusting behaviour is abhorrent, and there's nothing good about it at all. But the fact that there's just this going on now is the Scorpio stuff, and then the move from Mercury into Sagittarius is really going to be like this more potential fanaticism. I'm right, you're wrong, justice, and with Venus in Libra as well. How's that going to play out? Really interesting to see in the crypto markets. Like how much gains and growth is occurring there now. So again, it's showing that we're moving into this Aquarius for next year, and we got to see what happens, with the stock market and stuff as well, because things are changing, but because of the war machine, that does influence, sadly, these sorts of things. We've got election next year. It's really abhorrent. I mean, look at Netanyahu. He wasn't popular at all, and now suddenly he's in a position of strength through war. And again, there is fault. Why that occurred. Why did it happen? So, as wise and sovereign individuals, we just have to call this stuff out. We have to at least be aware of it. We might not know for sure. Oh, there's Ash there, look. We might not know for sure. Hey.
Not different Ash. That's Ashley.
Okay, hi Ashley. A different sort of perspective. We might see more religiosity, with Sagittarius. We might start to see more kind of again, truth, justice, this sort of stuff. I mean, we're moving towards Thanksgiving. I mean, I don't know. For me, I feel like Central Park should have changed colour by now, but it still hasn't. Hey. But yeah, that's the times. It's weird times. There's weird times because there's unforeseen things happening all the time. Weather changes. Changes in weather. It's markedly hot here, really, compared to what it used to be. So we're dealing with these things, we're dealing with these changes, we're dealing with truth, justice, freedom, all the aspects of America, really, with this Pluto return, again, we're going to be moving more into this orb of it. And again, don't forget how Pluto's affecting the nodes right now as well. So again, it's the old world ending. Yeah, it is weird to fall, yeah. So it's a strange time. It's a strange time simply because it's hard to know, what's going to happen next. And it seems, like I say, the digital world is going to massively expand next year. There is just so much signs of it. And likewise, when we're looking at what's coming for the rest of the year, we should be rest assured at least that a lot of the difficulty is over now. We're going to have a exaggeration of Sagittarius, as we move into Sagittarius season. And really, it's when Pluto goes into Aquarius next January, in Aquarius, the 21st, I think it is. That's when we really start to shift into this digital world. So we're concluding what has been a very strange year, no doubt. Sadly, the war machine continues. How that's going to play out, we're going to have to wait and see with this Venus into Libra. And certainly once we come out of Scorpio season. But the shift, the pivot to the new world, like I say, gold became a lot more dipped when the war occurred and then went straight up, and now it's back up again. This is commodities, this is currency wars. This is follow the money. This is like knowing where Hamas comes from. You know, this is knowing where Zionism comes from. This is knowing why there's rules for one group and rules for another. You know, this is the great inequality, you know, that's occurring with this old world, Pluto and Capricorn, the last bastion of it, playing out. Likewise, to see, you know, who's in control, you know, who has power, and then you've got to read the Ray Dalio stuff, the changing world order, you know, why this is so important. You know, I've heard a lot about, there was a huge pipeline that was going from Turkey. You see that the American diplomat is in Turkey right now. This pipeline from Turkey all the way down, because it's natural gas, which I've known for a long time, because I know people involved in it in Egypt. And likewise, oil. It all comes down to that, sadly, and people die, you know, because of it. You know, people die because money is at the root of it all, and power, corruption, and deception as well, because it doesn't make any sense that, you know, Israel with such a powerful defense would have happened. And conveniently, look what's happening now, you know, a great opportunity to take out Hamas. But then at the same time, where does Hamas come from? I mean, don't get me wrong, any terrorist organisation should be dealt with, I agree with that. Anyone that's causing harm and suffering and fear and chaos, there's nothing good about it at all. It's just, where does it come from? And that's why we've got, as sovereign individuals, to rise above what could be playing out here. Because sadly, if governments or, you know, people get away with these things, when's it going to stop? You know, we've got CBDCs now really coming into effect. You know, we see central bank digital currencies becoming far more in the mainstream. We see Europe adopting it. England's definitely up for it. And again, America, it always comes back to America. You know, America, the most powerful country in the world. But again, with the Ray Dalio changing world order, how's that going to play out? You know, what's China, Russia, you know, what's going on? This is all satellite stuff. This is how world wars happen. So we still have time. I think we have May 2026, you know, to really get everything organised. I think we really need to pat ourselves on the back for this year, because it's not been easy. The Venus retrograde, for example, was tough. And Saturn now direct, moving out of Scorpio. We get the first iteration with Mercury into Sagittarius this week. We still have that new moon in Scorpio, so it's a very pivotal experience of Scorpio, which again, death, war, revenge is the darker sides of it. So we have to see how that plays out. I think that's all I'm going to say for now, because we're on our travels and you know, we're not really, you know, we can't really do as much, and we're a bit late today. So I'm going to say hello.
Hi everyone.
So just keep cool, really. Keep calm, carry on. We've got things to look forward to. We've got Thanksgiving, you know, if you're in America, for example. You've got wonderful people in your life that I'm sure you can count on. Excellent community, you know, beautiful food. Thank you. Beautiful food, for example. I mean, wow, I mean, how could you not enjoy that, you know, in life? Like, I mean, wow, some amazingly gorgeous food. And, you know, again, always Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you know, the basic needs. You've got water, shelter. You know, we've come out now of the Scorpio Taurus, very close to finally moving forward into Sagittarius season, which, you know, it can be fun. So let's try and enjoy it. Let's try and enjoy Thanksgiving, Christmas, and also send a prayer for peace, you know, to those that are not as fortunate. And again, I've said this before, try do your good work, you know, help others who might need it. At least communicate with others, because it's not easy right now. It's easy to feel dark, it's easy to feel sad, it's easy to feel the horror, because, you know, you're seeing innocent people dying out of causes, out of agendas. And sadly, when you follow the money, you can see a lot of it's to do with corporatism, plutocracy, and that is really sad. It's a really sad thing to see in the world, that it's still going on. So let's pray for peace, and thanks so much for showing up as usual. Lots of love.
Lots of love.
And then see you later. Take care.